Welcome to the Even Better podcast, where your host, Sinikka Waugh of Your Clear Next Step, brings you exciting content about making communities better by helping people get even better at work.
Today's episode is brought to you by Your Clear Next Step in the Changemaker Certification Program.
Would you like to save time by solving the right problem sooner with a realistic and measurable plan? Reduce overwhelm by finding more sustainably productive ways to work? Improve employee morale by creating more positive workdays from within? Stay competitive by tightening your turn or increasing your agility in adapting to changing customer demands? If you said yes to those things, then we have the solution for you.
Interested in becoming a changemaker? Give us a call at 515-442-0545.
Hi there, friends. Sinikka Waugh here with the Even Better podcast. Thanks so much for joining me today. As we're continuing our journey here on things that I've learned in the years of running Your Clear Next Step, one of the things that I want to stop and pause on is the idea of doing what you can, right? Of caring for others, of looking out for other people, of doing your best, of putting in that extra mile, of doing your very best to care for the people that have been put in front of you. And as I think about this, I think about the times that I have been, people will raise an eyebrow at me or at the people around me. I'm drawn to people who are willing to give their all, right? The people who are willing to just keep going and going, the Energizer Bunnies. Just yesterday, I was in this really wonderful, inspired meeting with a group of people who are just an inspiration. They're such a joy to be around because they lift others up. And they are drawn to, and others are drawn to them because they are like light themselves, because they will look for opportunities to just keep giving and keep sharing and keep doing more, to do the very best they can to make the world around them a better place. And who doesn't want to be around those people, right? Who doesn't want to be lifted up by those people and inspired by those people and encouraged by those people? And then sometimes you'll get this sideways glance by someone who'll be like, oh, come on, are you still doing more? Are you still trying? You haven't gotten jaded yet? You haven't gotten discouraged yet? You haven't gotten snide yet? You haven't gotten dark yet? You haven't gotten sarcastic yet? You haven't gotten snarky yet? You haven't given up yet? And this year has chipped away at a lot for a lot of us. This has been a hard year. And if you're sitting there and you're thinking, man, I don't want to, no, thank you. I don't want to keep trying. Why am I still doing this? Or you're looking sideways at that person who just keeps going and keeps trying. And you're like, how do you keep doing it? What is this? Why do you keep getting up and caring for others? Where is this energy coming from? What I want to offer you is this sense of hope and this ray of sunshine that, on the one hand, for sure, I know, I think about the people that I know that are like light themselves, and it does not come from them. It is a source that is greater than themselves. And I will happily sit down with you, and I know any one of them would as well. And we'll talk with you and we'll visit with you about where the light comes from in our lives, if you ever care to do that. And I will happily point you to the source of joy and the source of hope and the source of eternal salvation that comes in my life, and any one of them would too. And in the day-to-day, as we think about this, the caring for others, it's not an act of sacrifice. It's not an act of altruism. When we think about how we do good for others, even Simon Sinek, as we think about his leaders eat last messages and some of those other things, it's how we survive in this game of life. When you do that, don't apologize for caring for others. Don't apologize if someone's looking at you sideways and they're like, well, you can't always look out for other people. You can't always take care of others. You have to take care of you. I'm going to acknowledge that we do need to sleep. Please don't forget to sleep. But we do, if caring for others brings you joy, then derive that joy in caring for others and care for others. And in fact, there is so much to be said for how what we put out into the world is so much of what comes back to us. Not always immediately and not always directly, but people see that joy and they're drawn to that joy. When we put out garbage, when we lie, cheat, and steal, people lie, cheat, and steal right back to us. But when we put out kindness, people bring back kindness. When we put out joy, people bring back joy. When we put out hope, people bring back hope. When we put out truth, people bring back truth. When we care for and provide for others, when we need ourselves, when we are in moments of need, people will be there for us. I mean, isn't that what the movie It's a Wonderful Life, isn't that what it teaches us? Isn't that foundational principle that the world would have been so much darker if he hadn't have been there? I don't know. So I've got this tapestry hanging on my wall, and a couple of weeks ago, I posted on my Facebook feed. I went ahead and posted the quote in it because it's illegible. You can't. I mean, I can read it from where I am, but you can't read it on the screen behind me, I'm sure. But it was found on the wall in Mother Teresa's home for children in Calcutta. And she didn't author it, as I understand it, but she loved it and hung it on her wall as a reminder. People are often unreasonable, irrational, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you will win some unfaithful friends and some genuine enemies. Succeed anyway. If you are honest and sincere, people may deceive you. Be honest and sincere anyway. What you spend creating, others could destroy overnight. Create anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, some may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today will often be forgotten. Do good anyway. Give the best you have, and it will never be enough. Give your best anyway. In the final analysis, it was between you and God. It was never between you and them anyway. I find this so uplifting and encouraging, even when it sounds discouraging. As a control freak, that line that says, what you spend creating, others could destroy overnight. Create anyway. There's something very freeing about the truth that we don't have control over what we put out there. When we are helping others, and I've built a business around helping people have better work days, helping the employees that I work with, helping the interns that I work with, helping the people that I surround myself, the coaches, the partners, the trainers, helping them each have a better experience. And then the clients and the individuals, the people whose lives I know we've touched along the way, helping them have better days. I put that out there and we've built a business around it. But that's fleeting. It's not about how tightly I can hold on to these moments. It's about the ability to let that go. It's about the ability to serve and to create and to put that out there into the world and then let it go. To know that I've done my very best in this day and in this moment, and then let it go. And that's excruciating. So let's translate that into your day-to-day interactions. Let's take that into a relationship that you might have with a peer or a colleague, or with your leader, or with an employee. And you do your very best with a project that you're working on. You do your very best to prepare for that meeting, to prepare for that conversation. You prep as thoroughly as you know how. You come to the table as self-managed as you know how. You've done all of the analysis that you could have done. You did all the research in advance. You've slept a good night's sleep. You've hydrated properly. You've done all the things that you could do to get ready for that moment. And in that moment, you do your very best self-management. You do your very best at recognizing the human across the table from you. You're aware of their present. You're sensitive to what they're bringing to the conversation. You ask, you engage, you connect with them as humans. You do your very, very best in that moment. And then you have to let it go. What they choose to do with that is, in fact, their choice. If they listen to your counsel, if they take your recommendation, if what you put in front of them is a proposal for a sale or for a new opportunity, if they take your sale and you win the gig, great. If you just put forth a request for a promotion and they take it, wonderful. If you just tried to figure out how to navigate these sticky waters and find a new path forward for your relationship and it works, great. And if in that moment, that other person chooses not to play along, if they choose to remember something else, if they choose to walk away from that conversation and prioritize something else, if they choose to forget the good that you've brought, if they choose to prioritize something else on their plate or in their mind or in the list of urgent things that are worrying them right now, and this falls to the bottom and they won't get to it for another week or 2 or 6. If they choose to say, yes, but I only have $6, $600, $6,000, $6 million, whatever it is, and this doesn't hit the spend, no. Or they choose to say, I'm hanging on to my own grudge. I don't want to grow in this way. I don't want to work out the kinks of our relationship. I don't want to figure it out. I don't want to unpack the things or unravel the things that I'm holding on to here. I don't want to do the heavy lifting of relationship building with you in this way. I want to keep holding on to whatever it is that I'm holding on to. And they choose no. You got to let it go. You can, in fact, do your best. You can bring your very best to the table and you can feel good about that. And you can know that tomorrow you can pick yourself up and bring your very best to the table with the next person, with the next conversation, with the next situation, with the next sale, with the next sales opportunity, with the next project, with the next job. Whatever the next one is, with the next day is a new day. The next hour is a new hour. The next minute is a new minute for you to be your best self, bringing your best you to the table. And what you choose to give is you being your best you in your best way. What they choose to do with that is their choice. And I keep finding that people, they think of us less than we do. It's not that they think less of us. I'm sure I've said this before. It's not that they think less of us than we do. And in some cases, they think less of us than we think of ourselves. But mostly it's that they think of us less. We occupy so much space in our own heads. And they simply don't give us that much space in their heads. We each occupy more space in our own heads than anyone else occupies in our heads, in our own heads. And so what I invite you to do is to continue to care. I invite you to continue to give. I invite you to continue to share. I continue to invite you to pour out. If you are a person who finds joy in building things, who finds joy in sharing things, in loving on people, in growing people, in investing in people, in doing your very best, keep doing that. Don't give up on that. And neither do I invite you to hold on to the pain that may come if they choose not to play along. Let that go. I think Mel Robbins is working this out in her Let Them and the Let Them theory. Pursue that a little bit more if you want more inquiry into this. But let them do what they will do. You be you, because ultimately it's about who you are and who God created you to be. Don't apologize for caring for others. Just don't forget to sleep. Don't forget to rest and refresh and go back and do what you need to do tomorrow too. I hope that's useful for you. On behalf of all of us here at Your Clear Next Step, I hope the rest of your day is even better. Thanks so much for listening.
Thank you for tuning in today. The Even Better podcast will be back with more content soon. But in the meantime, subscribe to our podcast or check out our website at yourclearnextstep.com for more information. See you next episode.